Hello everyone. Can you hear me well? Sorry for the delay. Is the music alright? Oh. Let's get into it. Hello everyone. I see in the chat. How is it going? So today I was thinking we could polish up some things on her and maybe run some redshift tests inside ZBrush. Maybe model some droplets that she has on her rose. Let me load the spotlight. Yes, I want to see redshift render. Okay, cool. So, first of all, I guess I would like to add some thickness to these guys. I'm not sure whether they would show up on redshift render if I were not to add any real thickness. Maybe it would, you know. Worth testing. But for now, let's add some loops. Extrude all polygons. Like so. And now rinse and repeat for all the petals. Now they have real thickness and we can actually paint them. Let's turn on back face mask, because if we don't, there is chance that all of it will show up on the other side as well. And that's not what we want. Oh, I see. So right now the mesh is flipped. So let's flip it. If you want to do that, it's in display properties, flip. Now we can paint freely on the back side of the mesh. As always, guys, if you have any questions, you can drop them in the chat. I'll do my best to answer them. How's everyone's weekend going? Mine has unfortunately come to an end. It's Monday here in New Zealand. It was a good weekend though. Faster way of doing this would be selecting these polar groups that I have, filling them in. Then it doesn't give me that feathered fall off. What I could do, I could mask it, unhide it, and control tap on the mesh to blur the mask. Layla! Hello, Xavier. Hey Layla, really awesome sculpt. Thank you, Anthony. You live stream in New Zealand? Oh no, you live in New Zealand. I thought you live in East Europe. I don't. Actually, I used to. Well, I grew up there. But I live in New Zealand now. Yeah, I know. I've come a long, long way from my hometown. Why did you move there? For jobs? I moved here to study 3D, get an official diploma. It was a bit tricky to do that where I grew up. There aren't any institutions really that teach you 3D on like a professional level or give you a diploma for it. Yeah, I moved, got my diploma, and then got my job. Not a really fun story. Pretty basic, but hey, I'm really grateful for it. Although from what I see in the industry, and I get asked that a lot. Also, by the way, if my voice sounds raspy, it's because it is. I have a bit of a sore throat. The question I get asked a lot is, do you need like education? As in, like, do you need professional like evidence of you going to university or college for the thing that you're trying to do, like 3D art? And I would say it depends on the company, but I see more and more instances of companies just not really being interested in like even checking out where you went to for studies, but mostly focusing on your portfolio. Surely there are like big companies in the States that look for new candidates straight from Nauman school, because Nauman is so known for having very like strict curriculum with their students, and usually the graduates there are quite capable. I wouldn't say that's the rule, but you need to go to school to be good at 3D. I know so many really good self-taught artists. And no offense to the school that I went to, but I would say that most of the stuff that I learned about 3D and sculpting, I learned off YouTube. Okay, it's not bad. How did she mask only the outer ring of the surface? Outer ring. Do I have polygroups on my mesh? It was first created with just one-sided geometry. If you mean the outer ring, this polygroup, you have a one-sided mesh, right? And you go here in the edge loop, and now bring it down to 1 to create one edge loop. You can create as many as you want, I mean up to 10. And then I bring the polish down to 0, because what it does, it polishes, I think, the entire mesh. So I bring it down and click on it, and it creates this outer edge. That's what you're asking about. Same, I watch ZBrush live every time when I did my school, and it helps me a lot. I'm glad. I'm glad that there are more and more free resources out there for young aspiring artists. Just for anyone, really. I cannot imagine having this job like even 50 years ago without YouTube, without all those free tutorials. I'm not really liking how spiky this part of the pedal is, so I'll try to polish it a little bit, like so. Maybe it's a bit too early for titillization. Okay. That's amazing. ZBrush is the best program for sculpting. I started using Blender, but ZBrush just tops it all. I feel like it comes down to skill quite a bit. Like, I've seen amazing artworks being done both ZBrush and Blender, but yeah, it is my software of choice. I don't know Blender, and I'm so used to ZBrush by now, to its weird UI, as everyone calls it. Just second nature. Thank you for elaborating this. It was very clear. You're welcome. Привет. Привет. Okay, Udemy for the win. I'm learning a lot with the courses of NetTut. Okay, for such a low price. I prefer that to YouTube, but YouTube is very nice too. Yeah, I've never tried Udemy, but that's nice to hear. Good review from them. What kind of games are you guys playing right now? Also, what are your top picks for Game of the Year? Okay, this is not too bad. Maybe we'll repaint her eyes a little bit. Hey Layla, I'm in the kitchen listening via Bluetooth, so can't write much till I finish cooking, but my top pick for the Game Awards and the Game Awards Orchestra to play. Sorry, I missed it, but my top pick for the Game Awards is the Game Awards Orchestra to play. So what's the name of the game? I'm a bit confused. I mean, I don't know. No, IDC. What does IDC mean? About the actual awards show, but because I think it's just a big commercial and they just kind of go with the big popular games, don't take it seriously. Oh, they don't. Oh, that makes me feel sad. I was purely basing it off the fact that Witcher 3 has been getting like all of those awards. Well, when it came out, it was Game of the Year, and then it's been popular ever since, like on all the charts. So, and with me respecting the game a lot and knowing how good it is, I thought it was legit. Don't people get to vote for it? Is it just the judges that decide? Did you start as a 2D artist? No, I did not. Well, not exactly. I was never really good at drawing 2D, although I drew my whole life. Like from a very young age, I have so many albums, stuff that I've drawn that my mom kept. But if you look at it, it's just like childish scribbles. It's nothing good. And when following this passion, my parents signed me up for like an art school after actual school. Now go there for 4 years. And I remember it clear as day now. I was never really good at it. I was also 12. So all of my peers there would be like a couple of years older than me always. But I remember just being very mediocre in the class. And if you ever grew up in a country like Moldova, Ukraine, Belarus, Russia, you know that the teachers there can be quite brutal. And my teacher she was loving in a sense, but whenever we would have like a composition, which was like an art brief that you could come up with, and then you have to sketch out the idea, approve it by the teacher, then transfer it onto the canvas, paint it, and stuff like that. I'll have really good ideas, and she would offer me as an example to the other students. And you might be wondering, oh, well, Layla, that's a good thing. But the way that she did it was like, hey guys, look, your ideas are kind of bland. You can do better. Look at Layla. She's got no technical skill, but she's got ideas. And it was sort of a meme back then. I guess it kind of shaped me in a way to become better at technical skill. Than anything else. And I did over time in 3D. Never in 2D though. Not really good at drawing 2D. I think people do vote, but ultimately the lineup is decided by the awards show, I believe. I'll be back in like 10 minutes or so, and I'll talk more. I just need to finish cooking. Oh, good. Finish your dinner. Or whatever. Food is important. Same, I came from music background, never been good at drawing. Ah, you came from the music background. All good. I mean, I wouldn't say it's a direct correlation in between drawing and 3D sculpting, although I see more and more people transitioning from 2D into 3D. And man, are they good. The understanding of light, shape, form definitely does translate, so it's a bonus that you might have if you are a 2D artist transitioning into 3D. And I congratulate you on that, because I know it took you years and years of polish to get good at 2D. But yeah, it's not necessary. I know a lot of really good 3D sculptors that can't draw. This color is a bit muddy, so might go in with something brighter. Yes, they have a big edge for proportions and stuff. Yep, but it is what they deserve. If a person has practiced and polished the skill for years, and now they found out that it actually translates into different media, I'd say that's just a very smart investment. What they made years ago. I know that my traditional art school that I mentioned earlier from a very young age, it really helped me, even though I wasn't really good at like hatching or watercolors or oils. What it did help me with was the understanding of what colors work together and which don't, how to build a beautiful composition for still life. And it really translates well when it comes to like setting up cameras for my characters or picking colors for my characters, stuff like that, which a lot of like digital 3D schools don't teach anymore, or they prioritize technical skill over like this theoretical skill. Yes, I can only speak from experience of going to one set school and not getting that knowledge. Will you retopo it later? I don't think I will retopo this character in particular, purely because I don't want to. Not for this project. I've been retopoing a lot of characters recently, and I don't think she needs it. I'm not gonna take her through the full production. I did retopo Zeri, one of the characters I worked on the stream as well. She's got proper topology and textures, and I'm currently in the process of rigging her and posing her in rendering. I know it's been a while, but balancing that and life and work has been a bit tricky the past year. I've also finished a quick fan art. You might have not seen it. I will post it on Instagram today probably. So it's the boy that was sculpted last time I finished him. So who do know, you guys know that it's Aaron Yeager, I believe that's how you pronounce it in English, from an anime, Attack on Titan, the anime that has come to an end 2 weeks ago with its grand finale that broke hearts all over the planet. And I felt like making something to just, I don't know, I guess find closure. Played around with some filters from Pablo Munoz Gomez. Check out his work if you want to. These ZBrush filters. And they're amazing. Actually made more iterations than this. Played around with it. Well, look who it is. Layla back in town. Welcome, Emperor of Cheese. Attack on Titan. It is indeed. Attack on Titan. Not gonna spoil anything if you haven't seen the final, but yeah. Haven't seen the final episode. Go check it out. I only watch when it's you because you're amazing. I love your stylistics and your voice. Thank you, Hollow Fame. That's really nice. I was thinking of also repainting her eyes really quickly. How much time do I have? Wait, did I see it? She's got them a bit cross-eyed, like this. They're also a little bit bigger, aren't they? The irises, I mean. Yeah, so on the concept, it might be a bit hard to see, but she's got a bit of red and a bit of green. So I can't quite decide which color it is. I'm gonna try both. Very nice work. Okay, I haven't watched it, but it's on my list to watch. I did see the first episode. It's that tragic, huh? It is a tragedy, the whole anime. But it doesn't make it bad. It makes it so much better. I don't know. I don't think I ever felt that actually enjoy the show being a tragedy that it is. You know, usually when you finish a show that is sad in its premise, you're like, oh, you either like very bummed out about it or you don't really care. But I usually am very depressed about like writing choices. If someone like kills off a character or ends the show on a very sad note, just like in general, I kind of hate it. But here, like, not gonna spoil much, but there'll be sacrifices in the show in terms of like characters, big or small, and it just, I wouldn't say seems fitting, but it's kind of like the world that they live in. It feels real. That's all I'm gonna say. And yes, definitely check it out if you haven't. Yeah, I think I like her more with the brown eyes. Hey, yeah, how do you create most of your renders of a high poly and poly painted characters directly in ZBrush Keyshot, or do you make a fast lower full version with UVs and make renders in Marmoset? No, and no. No Keyshot, no ZBrush, no Marmoset. I take them to Maya and I render them with Theory. But you could basically do all of the things that you just listed. It depends on what you know the best and what you want to use. ZBrush, Keyshot, or Marmoset. All of them are great. Marmoset is real time, so probably the easiest or like the fastest to get results out of. Yeah. I do create like a very quick low poly version with ZeroMesher and UVs, transfer the textures to like a folder, and yeah, render it out from Maya. So much to watch, so little time. I have to pick it up again. I do like me a good tragedy. Why can't I pronounce it? Every now and then. What I'm watching now is Death Note. Oh, that's a cult classic. Yeah, Death Note is one of my favorite anime of all time. Have you seen it? I've seen Death Note. Yes. Have you ever seen Tomomi Kobayashi artworks? Is it the guy with the girl with the eye with the spiral? I know it sounds random, but oh no, that's the wrong guy. Never mind. There is another very famous manga artist that's got a really cool style. wow. No, that's beautiful. It's so watercolory. Do they draw in watercolor? Sorry, paint. Okay, I'm gonna share it with all of you guys because it's too beautiful not to share. So I just googled Tomomi Kobayashi art. Just look at this. It's so vibrant and so nice. One I clicked on was this one. So beautiful. There probably is a way to imitate it in 3D as well. This watercolor look. Yeah. Oh, I see, but it's not a bit clunky with the high poly character in Maya. Oh, it's not high poly though. I created low poly and I baked displacements and normals. No, it's not clunky. Why is closed captioning off? I don't know. Oh, I was like, where'd she go? The pen is moving, it's a ghost. And she raised her head. Almost had me there. Raised who? Okay. Finally back, touching on some of the topics. Yeah, I agree 2D isn't needed, but it does add a lot of benefits if already learned. But I think in reality, if we look beyond 2D or 3D, both artists are learning the same studies. Whether it's environment or anatomy, that's the core. I remember learning 3D modeling for a short class years ago, and when I returned to art, I did 2D. I remember when I drew hands, I would think of how I modeled them and used construction methods thanks to 3D. Yeah, so I would definitely agree that they're kind of interdependent. Maybe not dependent, but you can apply the rules from one to the other and back. For sure. So I guess it would also be a benefit for someone who's transitioning into 2D to know 3D. Wow, this song is really loud. Oh, sorry. Accidentally closed the wrong tab. I'll bring it back. Yeah, Death Note is just a must watch. I missed it and decided to see what the fuss was about. Yeah, it's a good one. Oh wow, I'm trying to make this in 3D. Oh, I mean the Kobayashi Kotobo. I forgot it. What's the name? Kobayashi. Very dope. She did a lot of concept art for video games in the early 90s. Oh, that's a she. That's a girl. Even better. Tomomi Kobayashi. I need to remember it. Oh, I can see that in like Final Fantasy and stuff, for sure. Reminds me of Amano Yoshitaka's work. Okay guys, I'm not gonna Google all of it, but I will save it. And I'll put it on my PureRef file as a note. Good stuff. Oh, nice, Suru. Thanks for the explanation. It's always interesting to see how the other artists do things. You're welcome. Yeah, I think artists who never did 2D but went to a high level in 3D would have an innate high level of 2D potential loaded up. Just would need maybe a couple of weeks, maybe months, but I don't think it would take long. Yeah, I guess. Although it is very different. Like, I feel like when you're in 3D for a long period of time and you don't do 2D, you do get spoiled a lot with not having to worry about symmetry or proportions. Well, not proportions, perspective, because the camera of the 3D software decides it for you. You definitely have to worry about proportions in 2D and 3D. Shading, lighting, materials, most of it you kind of set up in 3D, and you don't really have to think about how a glass surface would look like. You know, you just assign a glass shader. Whereas in 2D, you have to learn how the light refracts and reflects and bounces off. What's the word? What different IORs are, stuff like that. What was I doing? Her eyes. Yeah, I feel like they're better now. Okay. One. Are you serious? Okay. I just bake it all. Cool. Let's add some droplets really quick. I'll add one here. One. Two. Add in there. Cool. Now, what I could do is do an extract and accept. Now let's polish it. And here you go. Get yourself some droplets. Let's dynamesh it really quick and zero mesh it. Maybe even lower. Whoa, you guys are very active today. I love it. Yeah, lots of color theory, but I figured that 3D artists would also learn it. But you make a great point. I was looking at it from 2D's perspective into 3D. I was looking at it from 2D perspective into 3D. The little robot is what I'm trying to make. However, as a newbie, bit off more than I could choose, so to speak. A little robot sounds like a good idea for a beginner. Depends on the concept though. If it's very detailed, it might be a lot. Amazing work. How do you make so accurate eyelashes? Oh, the eyelashes is very simple. So you've got your mesh, right? It's very high res, it's got subdivisions. You delete the levels for now. Go to brushes and drag down curve straps snap. Although sometimes when you paint it on, well, it seems to follow it now. Sometimes I'll paint it on and it will not snap onto the mesh. In that case, I can use ZBrush guide to just draw the curve. Like so. right? Select this brush, tap it. We already have a base, right? Now go into stroke, curve modifiers, and turn on the size. And now when you click on it, you'll see that one side will be thinner and one will be thicker. And what we want is this. We want it to be thin on two sides and thick in the middle. Kind of like that. You can play around with it. I usually go for something like this. Now increase the size. And if it's a bit jagged, you can hit 6 on your keyboard, which will smooth out. You might not be able to see it, but you see? It smooths this out. And now, if I were to pull it right now, oh, it actually does a pretty decent job. But to have more control over the tip itself, you go into curve and you turn on elastic. And you kind of like drag it out. Now let's turn it off. And kind of like push it into the shape that you want. Okay, it's not working very well today. So maybe I'll just do this for now. Hit 6 a couple of times. Here you go, you have quite sharp eyelashes. Now you can isolate it and split hidden. And you'll have yourself eyelashes. But for me, I'll just revert back to the point where I deleted the levels. And let's get back to the droplets. Tapped. Polish. Maybe I could keep this much. And then close holes and keep groups. Maybe I should have done the same for this one. Auto groups. Groups. Delete, close holes, zero measure. Awesome. I am old school, just for sculptures directly rendering in ZBrush and compositing in Photoshop plus overpainting. Fair enough. That's one way to work with ZBrush. Why not? Okay, need to catch up. And I was taking those studies for granted, thinking 3D artists would learn it anyway. But I guess it wouldn't be needed to learn as much since the shaders handle the theory for the most part. It's such an important thing to know though. It is. It is indeed. Amazing work, how to make... Okay, yeah, that one I read. I'll switch over to YouTube chat. All good? Hello Layla, how are you? I think you should change the size of the flower, it should be bigger. Yeah, no, that's true. I did make it quite big at first, I believe. Like, I played around with it. But it seemed too big for me. But now that I look at it, yeah. Perhaps it should. Plus the oversized droplets don't help. It should be a bit smaller. Ah, that's true. Amon. Sorry. Traditional 3D sculptors painters would more actively study color theory compared to in digital, I would think. Love it. Great work. Such a creative method. Thanks. You're welcome. And hitting 6 when using ZBrush guides relaxes the mesh. The guide still needs to be there though. Does it? Well, I guess it relaxes the ZBrush guides. I didn't know that it relaxes the mesh itself. Just piggybacking when Layla said hit 6 a couple of times. You will render water drop in render. Curious to see how it will render out. Yes, me too. We'll see how it goes. Didn't try Redshift render yet. Yeah, I will. Don't worry. Oh, do you mean yourself? It's been great so far, although I've never used it prior to using it in ZBrush, so I'm a bit of a newbie. It depends also, as a full-time digital artist, how to focus and learn traditional rules and fundamentals. Traditional knowledge will always improve 3D art. Yes, this is very true. Okay, I wanted to deflate them a little bit. Yeah, if we were to overlay it. To be fair, that's her face, right? That's the flower. The flower is kind of wider, but I wouldn't say it's taller necessarily. Got an extra layer here as well. Plus it's a bit of a different perspective. It's like we're looking from here, but then we don't see her face from the same perspective. That's the thing about 2D artists. They can cheat and it will look great. If I were to cheat the whole flower rotating forwards, then it would look really weird from the side view. Like the whole flower is on an angle, about to fall off her head. We don't want that, do we? I will play around with the size though, more and more, before this piece is final. How about we add an extra petal? Just reusing what I had before. It's about Attack on Titan. I didn't finish the anime. I stopped at the end of season 3 or so, but I read all the manga when it finished, but by the end there was so much dialogue going on that I lost track. Fair enough. There is more action as you go into season 4 finale, so you might want to get back into it or just watch the animated version instead. Amazing work. Thank you, Anna. By the way, guys, I took off the headphones because the music was screaming at me. Don't know why. I believe it's quite quiet for you, but for me it's just insanely loud. So I can't really hear what's playing right now. Just hoping that it's not super weird. And let's rotate it around. Wow, this looks so good. Thank you. Talking about different ways that 2D art influences 3D and vice versa. For any of you who are 2D artists, there is such a thing called as line weight, which basically just determines how thick or thin the line is for the line art. And what the 2D artists like to do is play around with it depending on how far away or close the character is to you. So like if it were like the face and stuff, they would probably draw the lines very thin, and towards the back they would like enlarge the size of the digital pen or the actual pen that they use in real life to kind of sell the idea of perspective, I guess. And like each artist will do it differently. Sometimes it's like a different combination of line weight. But the reason I bring it up is because I was doing something similar just now with the back face mask. I was adding different thickness to the meshes just to create interesting contrast. You see, so this part of the petal is very thin, but here I decide to thicken it out just because I believe it will make it look more interesting. And I 100% stole it from 2D. If I were not to follow like all those 2D artists on Instagram and ArtStation, I wouldn't have known what the line weight is. I guess that's not true because I have a lot of 2D artists at work in my office, and the term line weight is being thrown around left and right there. You know what I mean. Still Cleon once said in his book, "Still like an artist." That's the actual name of the book that I really recommend reading. It's very short, but powerful. Let me save. Do you use any 3D part tools or assets? What is considered a third-party tools, party tool or asset? I mean like plugin for ZBrush? Because I use ZBrush, which is plugin for transferring good topology to the bad topology, which basically saves me time on manual retopology. The lineup for this Game Awards, I would have chosen Baldur's Gate, no surprise there, but I don't really care for the games in the lineup, and it hurts to say that considering Zelda is up there, but it let me down. Zelda let you down? Okay, why is that? I'm really curious because I'm currently playing it. And you wanna send me? Are you animating? No, I'm not an animator. Short book, okay, I'm interested. Yeah, I'll bring it over. Perfect for my short attention span, lol. Can you tell me something about smooth cloth brush, how it is working? Just a second. Realize that I have it here. Okay, it might not focus on it, but you can still see it. Short book, full of quotes and inspirations, and usually doesn't cost much, and makes for a really good present for someone who's an artist as well. So yeah, really recommend. Can you tell me something about smooth cloth brush? How does it make? Smooth cloth. Well, okay. So when you select it, it will appear when you hold down Shift. So I haven't used it much. However, I know that smooth brushes of this range all pretty much do the same. They smooth the mesh. It's just the way they smooth the mesh is different. And I usually only use either traditional smooth or smooth peaks or smooth directional, which is not even here apparently. Yeah, there's smooth directional, which will only smooth stuff in one direction. So if I do like hatching, and I want to erase it from one direction but not the other, you can use that. Smooth cloth, I would imagine, would do the same. So how about we nudge some stuff here? Now smooth it. Yeah, I don't see much of a difference, to be honest, in how it is reacting. Hmm. It's a specific smooth brush for when you're working with the cloth brushes in ZBrush, but I've personally never used it because I only stick to the OG vanilla smooth brush. Anything not in stock, install. What is this? Stock install. Okay, back to Twitch for longer comments. Lol, just wanted to communicate with Amon about the sculpting topic since YouTube doesn't see Twitch comments. Oh, true. You guys can't see each other. That's why I'm reading your messages out loud. It improved on some things like lack of NPCs living in the world. Oh, you're talking about Tears of the Kingdom. But it only added so many. The battles felt really easy, especially after one temple buff. It felt like an extra handicap on top of easy fights. I do think they improved on the issue of weapon durability, which didn't lead me to hoard weapons. I still hoard weapons. I have a different problem with Tears of the Kingdom now. And none of the stuff that you brought up really bothered me. The one thing that kind of put me off since May, since I bought it, was how would I put it in nice words? The feeling of familiarity with the world. I knew where everything is. Even though they did like move stables around and they moved fairy fountains around and what else? Different, like, stuff is different in the world, right? And then there are depths in the skies and you can travel between them. But that sense of wonder that I once had when I first got Breath of the Wild, and you run into this open new world in your underwear, basically, with a stick in your hand, and there are like creatures that are out there to kill you. Yeah, nothing tops that for me, and Tears of the Kingdom unfortunately failed to top it for me. Although I feel like it's unfair to compare the two because Tears of the Kingdom is a sequel to Breath of the Wild, which logically should be different and should feel different. But yeah, that was my problem with the game. But regardless of that, I spent a decent chunk of my weekend playing it. And I have no regrets. Or third-party question. So, do you mean what am I using in ZBrush that is not shipped with ZBrush, like brushes and stuff and plugins? If plugins, yeah, that's the one that I use. It's not even here for some reason. Okay, it's called ZWrap for topology. Brushes, I've downloaded them from everywhere that I can find all over the years. So unless there is a website when I hover over the brush, then I don't know where I got it from. From some nice fella on Gumroad, most likely, or $1 or $2. That's how we all get our brushes, don't we? You make this concept direct and ZBrush and make a draw before. I did not make this concept. It's not my concept. I do not remember who made that concept, even though I made sure to track down the artist, which was no easy task, may I add. my god, I saved it on Pinterest. Pretty sure. Oh, I'll find it. Oh, maybe I won't. Because my Pinterest is a mess. I'll track down the name. That's their signature though. But the lack of NPCs and no side quests while traveling in between landmarks was sad to me. I still think Witcher 3 had this issue handled so well. Like when going to Red Baron, but on the way there you hear the man calling for his goat. Then you go do that quest and some dudes want to race you on a horse track, then you race. The next thing you know, you're on a bridge. It made traveling fun. It is true. It is true. I didn't feel like there was a lack of side quests though in Tears of the Kingdom. All I'm doing right now is side quests. My partner was also playing games yesterday and he walked over to the couch where I was playing Tears of the Kingdom. He's like, "What are you doing? Like, how far are you into the story?" And I was like, "Oh, I found 3 sages," which is basically like quite far in. But I don't want to find the 4th one because I'm doing side quests. He's like, "Oh, are there a lot?" And I was like, the past 20 hours in the game has been just purely doing side quests and hunts. So there is a lot, in my opinion. A lot to do. It doesn't feel as smooth as Witcher 3 though. I get what you mean. Should we add one more here? Like one more droplet? Extract, accept, invert, deformation, polish. Okay. Okay, let's save. And maybe I'll try to render something. Yeah, that's true. Also, I was so disappointed when I was in the same world. Yes. What is yes for? I may come back to it eventually. For now, I'm playing a new game of Cyberpunk. I only played it halfway last time, but it was too buggy. I hear it's good now, but my PC still struggles on low. But it's so freaking beautiful. I was walking around in different lighting just in awe of how the lighting was affecting my character's lot. Yeah, I've also heard that they've improved it a lot, fixed all the bugs, and it runs smoothly on PCs now. That was my problem with it as well when it came out. Bought it straight away because CD Projekt Red is... I hold them in high regard. Very high regard indeed. And I probably will buy every single game they will produce in the future. Until I am disappointed with one. Yeah. They know how to make a game look beautiful. Yeah, there are side quests, but not really on the road quests or quests in between landmarks. Ones at landmarks like farms and such. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, well, that's where I spend most of my time, really. I don't really spend time running, like riding a horse from one spot to the other. I just teleport. So it never really felt like the world wasn't populated enough. Okay, the way I would do it, we can just try turning on render first. That's a good start, right? Now, let's assign the material. Let's see. Make sure that all of them have the same material. Cool. Let's go into something like leather. Maybe this one should have metal instead, like gold. This one, water. Let's decrease the quality and render. So the water is kind of working. The metal is kind of working. I don't like what the leather looks like. I don't think. Also, her eyes look dead. So I'm guessing. What if I try this one? Fill object. Oh, really? Okay, it's better. Let's go into material. I'll dock it here. Modifiers. Reflect roughness. Let's bring it down. Is it doing anything? Yes, it is doing something. Sorry, I'm a bit quiet. Just different material. So this is good. Let's fill it in. Here you go, horseback. But I think that's the issue, is the world should be wanted to go out and explore. One of my favorite songs in the game is the horse running song. It promotes you to go out and explore, but it lacks incentive. So may as well teleport. Yeah, at that point almost may as well be on an instance-based game like the Twilight Princess or something. I enjoy the freedom to go anywhere. In Twilight Princess I felt like it was a bit gated between like those loading screens, like long loading screens. This is not bad. It's not great either. Let's play around with clay. Reflect colorway. Let's bring it down. You don't. Weird. And I love the sculpt. Thank you so much. I like my hair too. Coat, yes, there's a coat weight. Coat roughness should be like small. So she's a little bit shiny, not too much. I'll bring it down. Okay. Cool. Thank you, Michelle. Thank you, thank you. Okay, so she still looks a little bit washed out. Film. Not get it quite right, can I? Also, by the way, if you do own Redshift, if you wanna only render the section of the render region, you can hit Ctrl R on your keyboard, and where your mouse cursor is at, that's where the Redshift will render your piece. Okay. It's not bad. Not bad at all. Let's try and render the thing. The stream stutters a bit when you render. What a coincidence. It's almost like you're rendering out too. It gets pixelated and then back to normal. Oh, that's funny. Yeah, it should be better now. So here's the result, guys. Yeah, probably need to play around with my OBS settings so it doesn't happen. Not sure if it's up to me though. That's also why I think Game Awards just puts popular games up, but if an indie game is objectively better, I don't think I would be able to line up in the Game of the Year slot. I don't think Spider-Man 2 has good battle gameplay. It was press square to victory, its travel was nice, but it was mostly just a movie disguised as a game. Re4. Resident Evil 4 looked okay to me, and the Mario game looked okay also. I haven't looked into Alan Wake though. Yeah, I'm not even sure I know who is gonna be in the lineup. I know Baldur's Gate is huge. I know Diablo released. Well, Diablo 4 was released earlier this year and it was a huge flop, so probably not even gonna be in the lineup. Tears of the Kingdom. Spider-Man, yeah, that's all I know. But even if an indie game was objectively better gameplay-wise than the story, I feel like it would have to work 3 or 5 times harder to actually get a chance to be in the lineup. I'm sorry to hear that, because I do know a lot of indie game developers. Not personally, but I've played their games and really enjoyed them. Adjustments. Let's adjust contrast. Guess that's not too bad. I do feel like water looks like bubbles right now. Let's say I hate it though. Let's save it out. Oh yeah, teeny bit of lag when you render. Came out so sick so far, thank you. Typical for any rig. The lineup is Alan Wake, Baldur's Gate, Spider-Man, Resident Evil 4, Super Mario, and Zelda. Is Resident Evil 4 like a standalone new game, or is it... For some reason I thought it was a remaster? Or was there another remaster? I don't know, I've never played Resident Evil because my nervous system just could not take it probably. I recently played, what was it? My god, I forgot the name. The one with in the medieval Europe with rats and the sister and the brother. Not the Requiem, Plague Tale, Innocence. And each time you die there, an NPC that runs towards you kills you, like brutally, with an axe on your head usually, or something like that. And each time it happened, and I died a lot, I would just like look away, because I can't take it, I can't stomach it. I can be sick from imagery like that. So unfortunately Resident Evil, with how good it is, it's not for me. But I do hear a lot of good things about it. Do you know any book there I can read about all ZBrush 2018 to 2023 features? I do not know the book, but I do know the person that you should follow. It's Michael Pavlovich. And I'll show you his art station. He is the only book you need to read to know anything from ZBrush 2018. Was there even ZBrush 2018? I remember 19. Oh yeah, there was. So he is just insane. Like, his knowledge of ZBrush goes so much deeper than mine. or anyone else's, dare I say. He is just really, really good at explaining stuff too. So I would just recommend going on ArtStation, and if you need something in particular that you want to learn about ZBrush in a particular version, you go there and you watch any of his tutorials. That's how I learn, anyway. Oh yeah, I see what you mean about the dewdrops. Yeah, it's a remake. I watched gameplay and it just felt out of the date for me. Fair enough. Death by rats is scary. Yeah. It is. You would know. Emperor of Cheese. There is a ZBrush book. There should be, right? If you really want a book, then I'm sure there is one, but just not a book kind of girl when it comes to learning digital stuff. Anatomy or concept art, yeah, it's fine, but for me, books are a little bit outdated, especially if you have at least 2 screens. You can have a PDF book or a video or stream on one and then the software on the other, and you can just like cross-check whatever that person's pressing. Perhaps a better game to play would be Mortal Kombat. Oh, I see what you did there. I see. Okay, so the droplets can go back to the render and see what they look like. They look like bubbles. How do we fix that? I actually don't know. Let's just try different materials. What if we do basic material? Oh, that looks more like water, right? I'll wait for a few seconds for you guys to see. Maybe we could set it to something like... vice versa. Maybe we could switch the back to something lighter. I have a lot of problems with proportions. What do I do? I'm trying over and over, but is there any way to cut the line? I'd say study body blockouts. Just Google 3D body blockout ZBrush. That should set you on a right track, because learning all of the muscle groups, bones, can be a lot. But if you focus on like simplifying the shapes and knowing how big like the forearm should be versus the arm, or stuff like that, how many heads fit into the body, that will help. And usually 3D blockouts are a good way to start. Some people even sell them if you want to buy one and study it and try to match it, but make sure you buy a good one. And by good one, I don't mean you have to pay a lot. Just make sure that it's anatomically correct. Oh, I just got it low proportions. Yeah, it looks thicker. Do you only stream on Pixologic page? I do currently. Just due to, well, a few things actually. Currently to balance out my work life with personal life with Pixologic or Maxon. Can be a lot sometimes, so this month I will only stream twice. So I think it's my second stream, so I might see you in December, guys. Beginning of December though, so not too far away. Let's save maybe this angle. Could have worn the droplets looked better. Interesting. Well, here's the result, but I was using the basic material and not the clay one. So maybe we try and use clay. Okay, thanks a lot. You're welcome, OJ. I sure hope Pixologic has a Christmas themed challenge. I don't remember them doing anything as such, but it's a good idea. Maybe next stream I'll just pull up 2, 3, 4 concepts for you guys to choose from, and we can, yeah, sculpt something quick and Christmas themed. That'll be fun. December less than 2 weeks away. Sheesh, that would be fun. Yeah, wow, it is less than 2 weeks away. 10 days, right? 10 days away. Okay, let me render it out and see what it looks like. No, shut up. Okay, so this is kind of where we ended up. Can export it out. Here's the render. I'd say pretty good. Can still be better, especially the water droplets. But yeah, it's something I'll play around with off stream just because it requires a lot of R&D back and forth and rendering, which apparently lowers the quality of the stream. I won't do it as much, but you got the gist. You assign different materials to different parts of your model. The eyes usually should be glossier, the skin less glossy. Then if you have any specific materials you need to imitate, like water or gold, stuff like that, you will also need to assign the according material to it. There are also adjustment layers, which can be quite helpful. Basically your simple version of compositing and color correction in ZBrush. Yeah, pretty pleased with how it turned out. I'll save it out. Zoom in, and I have a few minutes left, so we can just chat. Yeah, sounds dope. Awesome. I'm not so much of a horror artist, but I am more geared towards dark arts, witchcraft, dark themes, etc. Some of you there would love to do a winter witch or something. Ooh. Sounds good. Yeah, for sure. A lot of work from either from the European folklore, more modern themes as well. And that's so cute that you guys are chatting. I find it really wholesome. So one thing I would improve more would be I would actually try to rotate the flower more towards the camera. What else? The lighting could use some work. Maybe her eyes are a little bit too blown out, like the corners of the eyes. I know it's my poly paint that I've added. Should be toned down. Now I just want to watch Harry Potter 1 and 2. Oh, she's looking nice and flowery. Thank you. Oh yeah, Harry Potter is a big one for me during Christmas periods. Christmas period. I was meaning to say Christmas times and then thought of a period, a word, and yeah, here you go. So looking okay, although there was a weird bump on the render. Yeah, over here. So maybe I could smooth it a little bit. Ooh. Here it is. And black. Actually prefer it this way. I will export it out now. I still have to play Hogwarts Legacy, I have 25 minutes, and then, well, Layla, do you have a Discord app? I do, and I hate it. I I'm sorry if I offended anyone's feelings, but Discord is like a maze to me. I can never understand in which chat I am, who am I gonna call right now, who am I gonna message right now. I know I sound like a broken record because I've been asked that before, but I do not like Discord. I'm sorry. It's frustrating. I have Telegram, which is sort of Discord, but better. uh, I don't know if I can link it anyhow. I'll try. I'll drop it in the chat now. Can you share your first character sculpt and what problems you faced? Not right now because I need to end the stream and yeah, it's somewhere on my D drive. Something like really old. I think I've showed it before. It won't be the first one, but it will be at the beginning of my 3D career, I guess. I can load it up, probably. Oh, maybe I couldn't. Oh my god. Oh. Okay, I'll track it down somehow. I do have a lot of old artworks. Okay, I know you guys are really keen to chat, but I do need to get going and get to work. Thank you guys so much for staying with me, chatting with me, discussing games and whatnot. I really enjoyed it. If I am being honest, these streams are kind of like the highlight of my week. And I do truly enjoy chatting with you and sculpting what I love and sharing my knowledge when I can. So yeah, thank you for being here. And I will see you on our next stream, which will be Christmas themed, most likely. You can follow me on ArtStation, Instagram, Telegram. Don't follow me anywhere else. I will not reply. Sorry, privacy. But otherwise, I'll see you next time. Bye.